This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Narcissistic Abuse Recovery. Part 1. Avoiding the Traps. When I started this channel, I was beginning to understand what happened to me, to understand what went down. I wish I could get validation about the abuse from my family, and also to develop enough discernment to engage in a recovery path from it. This has been the path I've been walking since then, and sharing my learnings along such an awakening journey. I remember when realizing what went down, how much time and effort I have spent trying to understand it. This channel emerged out of the wish I had back then. I wish I had avoided so much disinformation and traps. Part 1 is about recognizing and avoiding these traps. When I look back through these past 3 years, I could not ever imagine I would encounter so many backlashes from narcissists and their shills against contents on this channel. These creatures have been doing all they can to try to invalidate this channel. They are striking at the most vulnerable time in my life, when I mourn the loss of a loved one, poverty, hunger, isolation from discard, and trying to heal from another cancer. This is a small channel created out of my limited capacity to help people understand what these creatures are and do. Therefore, what could be their motivation for backlash? Would it be because I speak from my heart? Would it be because I address the scope of narcissism? In other words, understanding what is being done on a large scale, scaled down to a single individual. Would it be because I talk about the origins of these demons? Would it be because I didn't give up faith in God? Would it be because I expose these demons for what they are, and for the consequences of what they do? Whatever the reason may be, it means I am doing something that is getting them scared. They are scared because more people are waking up to their deceptions. I have only this to say to them. I do not fear them. I will cast them back to hell with God's help. Viewers on this channel are waking up to the deceptions narcissists create and their need to keep you living in bondage. Therefore, you can now recognize the following characteristics used by narcissists and their shills to create deflection, to steer you away from finding the way out of the narcissistic matrix. 1. Dominate the thread. Shills often interject themselves into productive discussions in order to make themselves appear credible, as though they have a real argument, where none actually exists. 2. Become incredulous and indignant. Avoid discussing key issues, and instead, focus on side issues. This is also known as the "how dare you say this?" 3. Character assassination. Disinformation shills often make outrageous comments, for the sole purpose of deflecting focus from the truth, to distract us by creating a controversial debate, where none truly exists. Often, trolls use the Trojan horse method to attempt to elicit an emotional response from people online, to evoke hostility, with the intent of twisting it around, to make the person look volatile, a classic character assassination tactic to discredit them, making them appear weak. 4. False association. This works hand in hand with number 3, character assassination, and the Trojan horse shill. The goal is to sidetrack opponents with name-calling, ridicule, and engage them in a hostile argument to try to discredit them, also known as the attack the messenger ploy. The goal of false association is to associate opponents with unpopular titles such as paranoid conspiracy theorist, to make them look crazy and try to discredit them or call them derogatory names such as ignorant or liar, attempting to invalidate anything they say, regardless of how true it is. 5. Sidetrack opponents with name-calling and ridicule. This is also known as the primary attack, the messenger ploy, though other methods qualify as variants of that approach. Associate opponents with unpopular titles such as kooks, right-wing, liberal, left-wing, terrorists, conspiracy buffs, radicals, racists, religious fanatics, and so forth. This makes others shrink from support, out of fear of gaining the same label, and they avoid dealing with issues. 6. Question motives. Twist or amplify any fact, which could be taken to imply that the opponent operates out of a hidden personal agenda or other bias. This avoids discussing issues and forces the accuser on the defensive. 7. Antagonize and goad opponents. If they can't do anything else, chide and taunt their opponents and draw them into emotional responses, which will tend to make them look foolish and overly motivated and generally render their material somewhat less coherent. Not only will they avoid discussing the issues in the first instance, but even if your emotional response addresses the issue, they can further avoid the issues by then focusing on how sensitive you are to criticism. Don't let these traps stop your validation process and from developing your discernment to start your journey on the recovery path from narcissistic abuse. I hope this video helps with the understanding the trap set forth by narcissists and their shills. God bless you. If you can, please help keep this channel going by clicking on the Patreon link available in the description below. Thank you for watching this video. Please remember, knowledge is from God.